Now, granted, I have the hindsight of having worked as a machinist on the shop floor, being the one to hand out all the work and the job orders, as well as working on the distributor side. Let's go over an example of leveraging your supply chain. So let's take the case, and we're going to look at two different companies, Company A and Company B. Company A gets a brand new 5-axis mill, and right in the planning stages before it actually arrives on their shop floor, they reach out to their supply chain to see what new tooling and fixturing they can create to ensure that when the machine hits the floor, they are ready to run and they have the strategies in place to make them successful. They see that their partners are added value to make sure that they can hit the ground running without spending tons of non-value added time in research. They do that by leveraging their suppliers and forming partnerships. Company B buys a new 5-axis mill. I mean, who can blame them? The industry is going that way and there's a lot available. But they leave everything up to the guys on the floor that are already overworked with too little time on their hands. And they don't see their suppliers as partners in production. So their scope and what they're limited to is what anyone can find at their keyboard. Nothing wrong with that. I myself love that method, but the reality is you don't achieve the same results. Now, case in point is looking at something like a circle segment cutter. Now, circle segment cutters like the ones from Emuge, who pioneered the medium back in 2016. I've got some of it here. Now, one, there's a plethora of options, and depending on the surface you're working with is really going to depend what you choose. So yes, you can research and you can look around on the forums and you can do all of that. You can talk to your CAD/CAM partners like the guys over at Mastercam, who are actually official partners of Emuge for their circle segment cutters when it comes to programming them. They're available right there in the library to simplify it. But as you start looking at everything, there's so many options. And yes, your guys can figure it out. But if they're already overworked and they don't know where to start looking and they don't leverage their partnerships, that's all time they are spending that could be putting their genius to work for the products they specialize in, while allowing those in their supply chain to contribute value to their company. These are fantastic tools. I mean, in some cases, you're taking 4 times the step down of your standard ball mill roughing, which before 2016 was the standard industry go-to. So many options. So many options. So you get now why Company A, in their case, chooses to partner with their supply chain to identify the correct tools. One of the other benefits of seeing your supply chain as added value to your process is then you can work together, but then you can hand over solid models and say, hey, this is what I'm trying to do. What tooling, what programming strategies, and between the partnerships you've created, now all that work's being done without costing you a penny. A simple agreement to purchase the tools, and I mean, why wouldn't you when the supplier is going to go through the efforts to ensure that it's going to work for your process? It just seems like a no-brainer for me. Now, granted, I have the hindsight of having worked as a machinist on the shop floor, being the one to hand out all the work and the job orders, as well as working on the distributor side. So that background knowledge allows me to see what's possible and to understand the mechanics on how to make those partnerships form, to make them work, and to make them beneficial for you. So when you're considering any type of growth or new development or researching strategies, by reaching out to your supply chain, sending me a message, that's going to save you so much time. And hey, it's all about keeping your spindles turning and earning. So until next time, keep your spindles turning and earning.